Let's cut the shit. You clicked on this video because you want to see how you can get 1,452% better at the guitar with only 3 drills. And I will deliver on that, but first you need to understand that these drills will not be easy and you won't be able to get them all down today. That's because we're talking about unlocking the entire fretboard so you can improvise with ease without ever getting lost again. So this is the kind of video you're gonna wanna A, watch guitar in hand, and B, save somewhere you'll actually remember it so you can come back and study up. So with that out of the way, let's jump straight into the first drill, which is going to be thunder thirds. Our thunder thirds are going to be taking a scale, we're gonna use our G major scale, and we're gonna be playing up the scale in thirds. Now, what does that mean? We're gonna take our first note, and then we're gonna skip the second note and go straight to our third note. But first, make sure you have this major scale down. We're gonna have my boy Yinming put it right here. Or just play up it with me really quick. Beautiful, beautiful. If you didn't get that down, go back in the video, play it along, and now we're gonna go right back down, play it along with me. Now playing it in thirds, like I said, is we're going to play the first note, we're skipping right over the second note, and we're going to the third note. So it's gonna be the first note, and then the third note, then we come back to the second note. So 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5. Try and get that first part. We have that scale, right? First note, skipping a note to the third note, and then coming back. To the fourth note, and then coming back. To the fifth note, and then coming back. You're constantly jumping over a note and then coming back. Try and get this first section, and then once you have that, hit play again, and we're gonna play it together, going all the way up the scale. But we don't just want to play it up, we want to play it back down. But this time I'm going to turn on a metronome at 62 BPM and have you follow along. Before we do that though, remember we're just starting at the top and we're doing the same thing backwards. So we're skipping over a note, coming back, skipping over a note, coming back. We're going to play it just down so you can get down, and then we're going to play up and down together. We're doing this at 62 BPM with a metronome. Follow me along here. So if you can play up and you can play down, there's one more step, which is playing up and down together. So I'm going to do that, same tempo, you follow along. And the goal with having this exercise down after you can play it with me is not just to give up there, it's to do it on your own and improve on it in 2 ways. The 2 ways are going to be speeding up your tempo, like you can either go on the metronome in eighth beats, eighth notes instead of quarter notes like we were doing. So it'd be like every time the metronome clicks, you play 2. So like, and then like, you can do that, and you can also simply speed the metronome up and maybe even do like a combo. Let's see how brutal I get. So either speeding it up like that, obviously you don't have to speed it up that much off the bat. I kind of like 4x'd it for what we were doing, but progressively speeding it up. And also learning the same scale across the fretboard. And in my free community link down below, second link, I have the entire major scale across the entire fretboard. So you can work your way up, and it's laid out with this exercise just for you to do that. So hop in there if you want to do that, but it's not the most important thing right now. What's important is that you get down this first position and you just get comfortable doing this exercise and speeding it up a little bit. By the way, these 3 drills are the exact drills I gave my student Andrew that had him saying this after only 1 month.
I started out just over a month ago with you, and I was just pentatonics, yeah, and pentatonics is the way. That's all I ever did. You play something and oh my god, I mess around and writing my own bits of music and stuff, but if I was anything, it was all pentatonic. It was never major scale, full major scale or anything like that. And I'm just thinking, in the space of a month, or just over a month, you think of what I know the big difference. Yeah, I pick up my guitar, and I'm not just pentatonic. So I'm rarely pentatonic. Or if I start a pentatonic, I kind of stop 2 or 3 notes in and go, hold on, what am I doing that for? Why don't I just do this? Or why don't, you know what I mean? It's, and that, to me, is a massive leap forward. It's a massive jump forward, because the pentatonic just became robotic. For a long time, it was just pick it up, do this, pick it up, you know? And now, it's not. It's like play 2 or 3 notes, and then I'm stopping and I'm going, whoa. If I just do this or I just do that, you know? And it's become much more enjoyable, yeah, rather than just making a noise, as my girlfriend says. I now actually think about making me noise.
But we need more than just a scale to think about the noises we make, just like Andrew said. So that brings us to drill number 2, which is going to be Triad Triumph. Now, a triad is simply a chord. If you know a chord, like if you know G chord, you know C chord, there's already triads built into those. But a triad is only 3 notes. So we're just trying to break down the most simple way to play the chord and how we can play it all over the fretboard, so we're not stuck playing the same open chord, bar chord shapes that every fucking 15-year-old already knows, right? That's not really what we're going for. So a triad is built out of the 1, 3, and the 5 out of the scale. Whoa, that wasn't a 5. 1, 3, 5. So if we think back to our G major scale that we were just playing in, we can do 1, 3, 5. Those are the notes we need. Ba, ba, ba. And we just want to know how we can drill them, same as we were drilling the scales, to really nail them down into our playing. So what we're going to do is get down these triad shapes in the first position. All of these chords are G chords. And I'll have Yinming, we'll lay them down, ba, 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 like that, so you can see all of them, right? Ba, ba, da, ba. And you can go back up. And we do the same thing with this. We'll get a metronome. I'll do 62 BPM, that's what I had the first one at, and we'll just play down and up these triad shapes. But with these triad shapes, we don't just want to sit there and drill them. We also want to pick apart the intervals and understand which inversions each triad is. Now, a triad inversion is simply a different way to order the notes. So we have our root position triad, which is just the root, the third, and the fifth, like we said. And it's the same notes we're playing here, but we're just playing them together. When we do an inversion, we're just cycling the notes. So if we want to go to the first inversion after the root position, we're taking our 1 and putting it on top. So instead of 1, 3, 5, we take the 1. So we have 1, 3, 5, we take the 1, put it at the end, 3, 5, 1. So then we would have 3, 5, 1. That's our first inversion. Now to go to our second inversion, we have 3, 5, 1. We take our 3, put it at the end, and then we have 5, 1, 3. Now in that, we kind of have to come down to play that, but then we have 5, 1, 3. So you want to slow down with these triads and say, I have my third, my fifth, and my root. Okay, that means it's a first inversion. And you come down here. Okay, I have my root, my third, and my fifth. That's a root position. Okay. Okay, I have my fifth, my root, and my third. That's a second inversion. Okay. Then we come down here. Okay, I have my third, my fifth, and my root. That's a first inversion. And part of the reason this is so important is because when we want to switch those to minor chords, all we have to do is take the third and bring it down 1 fret or 1/2 step. So if you know where all of the thirds are, you can almost immediately snap into playing those minor shapes. So, like we had at the top, we have 3, 5, 1. So if we want to make that a minor shape, we just bring that third down. When we come down, we have 1, 3, 5. So we just take that third, bring it down. And then we had going down, we had 5, 1, 3. So we just take our 3, bring it down. And then going down, we had 3, 5, 1. So we just take our 3 and bring it down. So our minor shapes would look like this. And we want to do the same thing, run it with a metronome. We got 62 BPM geared up. And we just... And you want to do the same thing sitting and labeling these minor triads as well, but you want to slow down with them and label all of the thirds as flat 3. So in our root position, we have 1, flat 3, 5. I'm going to say, okay, my root is 1, flat 3, 5. When we go up, we have flat 3, okay, 5, 1. And the inversions work the same way. So this is our first inversion again. And if we go, we start bringing it down, we go to this one, we have 5, 1, flat 3. So that'd be our second inversion. And then we go down again, we have flat 3, 5, 1. So that'd be our first inversion. And when you're ready to move on and get the rest of the triads down across the entire fretboard, hit that second link in the description to join my free community because I have all of them laid out ready for you to practice. I just have to let you know that I only let players in that have been playing for over a year and actually practice every single day because frankly, I'm trying to build the best community of guitar players where everybody in there is actually putting the time into getting better and they want to get better so that we can all be together getting better. Now, drill number 3 is going to be to shed the sharpest tool. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, our first 2 drills were simply giving us tools that we can use, but we weren't really using them, right? We're just acquiring them, acquiring the ability to play that scale, right? Acquiring the ability to play our triads and understanding what the triads are and where the inversions are and what the intervals are. But we want to actually be able to use those tools, and we get there by shedding, which is another word for practicing, which is what I mean by shed the sharpest tool. We're going to take our tools and shed them a little sharper by functionally being able to use them. So to become more musical, we kind of want to remove the music off of the guitar. And that sounds a little crazy because we just spent all that time drilling these ideas on the guitar. But what I mean by that is we want to think about our ideas musically and then think about them on the guitar. So I have this little loop set up, which is in the key of G, because that's kind of what we were thinking about the whole video. And the idea is to sing with your notes, right? So I have the loop is G, E minor, A, D. So the first thing I would do before I even think musically is play it. Just try and sing those notes. Ba, 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 da, ba, da. You really want to internalize the notes into your body and into your ears because that's where the music is found, right? The music is not found on these damn strings. They're just a vessel to play the music on. So once you have those first notes kind of internalized, you want to think about where they actually fit into the scale. So we think way back to when we were counting up with the scale, right? Do like first note, third note, fifth note. We can just count up with the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. I want to figure out where those chords actually fall onto that progression. So we have like 1, 6, 2, 5. And that's just counting with the scale. 1 is G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on E. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on D. So then you can go back around. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. Once you have that, you want to figure out with these triads, where can I actually play these chords? So we already know our G triad, right? They're going down to E minor. Well, there's an E minor triad right here that we can use. So, and then it went to A minor. We can just, this is an A minor 7 chord. And then to D, and go down a little bit. So with our basic triads all on the G string, or not the G string, the D, G, and B string, it would look like this. And then we kind of want to blend all of these pieces together. This is when we start shedding the sharpest tool. We just sang the notes, ba, 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 ba. We just found where we can play the chords. Now what we want to do is try and create lines that follow those chords by thinking more vocally in that sense. So you can even do another step of kind of ba da da, singing the notes in the ba da da in the triads, ba da ba, ba da da, ba da da. To try and really internalize them, and then think about lines like ba da ba ba, ba da ba ba. And try and follow like individual notes in those chords. So we know from G to E minor, we're just moving up. The only note that we even changed was on that B string. So I would just focus on that switch, like, and sit there for a second. And then what are we doing changing to the A minor? We're only changing that one note on the G string. So then you can focus on that. So we got G to E minor, and then E minor to A minor 7, and then we go down to D. Now on D, all of those notes are changing, right? So we can move any of them really. So going all the way around, it could look something like this. And if you're serious about improvising all over the fretboard so well that your friends think you have some sort of crazy natural gift, then check out this video right here to see how I help players play all over the fretboard and make progress faster than they ever have before.